Hello and welcome to my podcast, Cultural Crossroads. And in today's episode, we're going to explore the fascinating yet surprising similarities and differences between Norwegian and American cultures. My name's Katrina, and today we'll dig into the various aspects of these cultures, everything from customs and greetings to eating habits, social norms, and traditions. Let's start by looking deeper into customs. In America, formality is key, and people often address each other by their last names and use titles such as Miss or Mr. as a sign of respect. In America, it's normal to give tips when eating out and wear shoes inside, but this is something that may seem very odd to outsiders, and this is then according to Traveler's Helper. When looking at Norwegian customs, we can see that Norwegians tend to be more informal than Americans. They have phased out the use of titles such as Mr. and Mrs., opting for a more simple approach by using first names. When visiting someone's home, it's quite normal to bring food, maybe a gift, or even flowers. But interestingly enough, are Norwegians more inclined to discuss politics openly in comparison to Americans? How different cultures greet each other can also highlight big cultural differences. According to the University of Michigan Press, are Americans known for their outgoing nature, engaging in small talk, and friendliness towards strangers. Norwegians, while friendly, maintain a more reserved personality, particularly with strangers. However, it's common in Norway to strike up conversations during activities like hiking. This is something I myself really have experienced a lot, especially when living in a more rural place such as Tromøya. And I would really say that people in the city are more for themselves than people that live more on like the countryside. I think that dining habits show the biggest differences in cultures. In America, people tend to eat more quickly, and they often only use forks during meals, and they like convenient food options such as ordering fast food. Although Norwegians take their time during meals, and they often use both forks and knives. Family mealtime is a very important part of Norwegian culture because then families get to spend quality time together. A big part of communication between people is body language. Americans tend to have a larger personal space bubble and use gestures like nodding for agreement and thumbs up for approval. This is done according to Pronunciation Pro. Norwegians have been influenced by American culture and have adopted some of these gestures, but maintain a slightly smaller personal space bubble. When it comes down to individualism or collectivism, do both countries lean towards individualism? But according to a master that focused on this topic, are Americans seen as more individualistic due to their perceived lack of safety nets? This can be a contributing reason for the next category, respect for authorities. Norwegians exhibit higher trust levels compared to Americans, which can influence political engagement and answer the question to why Norwegians more openly talk about politics. One big similarity we can see throughout this comparison is the country's views on gender roles and their religious influence. While both countries value gender equality, women still experience discrimination, especially when it comes to income and job, with Norway ranking higher in gender equality indexes according to the Global Gender Gap. Many believe that religion is losing its influence, and this is due to immigration according to SSB. Religion, once a dominant force, is losing influence in both countries, particularly in America where multiculturalism is prevalent. When exploring cultural differences between American and Norwegian traditions, we can see that actually weddings used to stand out quite a lot. Before American influence, the Norwegian weddings have cultural elements such as serving traditional food, and the bride usually wearing a bunad, which is Norway's traditional clothing. While in America, our weddings traditionally featured a bride in a big white dress with a large number of guests. However, Norway has since adopted to some American wedding customs, such as the bride wearing a white dress, the father walking her down the aisle, and having bridesmaids. There are many significant differences in traditions that become apparent, such as Norway having a traditional clothing while America does not. Additionally, does America have numerous national holidays, such as Thanksgiving, which is not celebrated in Norway. American culture also thrives on large-scale events such as the Super Bowl and Coachella, which has gotten global attention with people tuning in worldwide. American culture also thrives on large-scale events such as the Super Bowl and Coachella, which has gotten global attention with people worldwide tuning in via television or on social media. The 4th of July, which is America's Independence Day, is arguably one of the most significant events symbolizing freedom. In contrast, does Norway celebrate festivals such as Palmesus and have traditional events like 17. Mai. While Norwegians also have numerous In contrast, does Norway also celebrate festivals such as Palmesus and have traditional events like May 17th. While Norwegians also have numerous events throughout the year, is their approach of celebration much more different than in America.